Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
What?
Yes?
Yes, your question. Yes. The question is, how do you put the limits or how do you find boundaries with people?
How do I create boundaries with people? Or how
Or
does
how
one,
do you put, how do you find your boundaries? How do you put your limits? How do you deal with these kind of things with people?
uh, you know, Smadar, you have to sit still, please. You're disrupting the class. Um, you know, look, it gets back to the same answer, Laurent. It really does. How do I don't create boundaries with people. I get strong enough inside myself not to be able to be sucked into their stuff. You understand? I don't allow their anxiety, their problems, their tensions to affect my inner life. By building strength inside myself, I can do this. Because it's almost impossible to tell people how to live. Unless people really work on themselves, then they're not going to comply with the way you think they're supposed to live. And they bring all kinds of garbage into one's life. So what I discovered years ago is that I cannot fix people unless they want to work on themselves. Then I can help fix the problems inside them. But we live with all kinds of people, whether it's in our jobs, our family, or friendships. There's all kinds of people that come into their life. And one of the real problems is they all have opinions about what's right, what's wrong, what we should do, about the meditation, about, I've heard everything from I'm a cult, I'm a this, I'm a that, to, I don't listen anymore. Because what I've done is the only thing I can possibly do, build a system inside myself that is so strong inside that I am completely focused on what I have to do with my life. And if people want to bring garbage to me, I can say no. I can say, no, I don't have to live with that. I don't have to be a receptacle for that. But I don't say it no in a way where I want to beat them up or have a fight with them. It's just no. If you want to approach my life and be part of my life, bring something of value, bring some depth, bring consciousness. And the only way I've been able to do this is years of working on it, getting strong enough to have experienced so much garbage and nonsense in my life that I had to find a way to truly, not allow it to take over. And that is in family, it's in friends, it was in relationships, it was in, just about everything you do. And it's a constant reminder that you need to build an inner life that is strong enough not to get sucked dry by the lack of consciousness of people that come into your life. That's how I've created boundaries. And now when people approach me, whether it's, my daughter, this one, that one, there's a certain degree of respect because inside they basically know what I do and they know that I'm not going to take too much nonsense if they want to bring it to me. That's how I've created boundaries, not by lecturing people, not by isolating myself, not by taking myself out of life, but by building my inner life to where I was strong enough, I become strong enough, it's like Nityananda, you would get within a mile of his ashram and all your tension would go away. All your tension would vanish. I mean, his Shakti was so strong that that's what would happen. When I went to see my teacher, it was the same thing. I would go, and then I would get within 2 blocks of where he was, and suddenly it would all just disappear. And I'd go in there and sit down ready to work on myself and take the energy from him. Well, in my own life, I've kind of managed to do the same thing, to build an inner life that is so strong that that's the boundaries. And it really keeps a lot of the nonsense of the world from plaguing us, from really tearing us apart. And there's so much nonsense, no matter what goes on. You know, even with this COVID-19 thing, you should vaccinate, you should not vaccinate. Everybody has an opinion, you know, you can go crazy. You got to go deep enough in yourself to see, what do I need to do with my life? And not listen to so many opinions that people have, because they can just drive you crazy.
Does that mean that you find a way to not have any opinion anymore?
No, you can listen to people's opinions and you can not allow them to go, you know, to take over. So, okay, that makes sense to me. I can live, I can respect what they're saying. But everybody has opinions. When I was younger, when I was your age, or maybe younger than you, I was like the black sheep of my family. Nobody had a good word to say about it. I was the crazy. Oh, he's into yoga, meditation. He's running around the world. He hitchhikes all over Europe. I'll never forget. This is a true story. I was living in Paris. I was 22 years old. And the only way I knew how to earn a living was I got a job selling the New York Times on the streets. You know, it was kind of, you ever see the movie Breathless? You know, it was the same. It was the same kind of thing. And you know, and I'll never forget, I'm doing this, right? And one day some guy comes up and taps me on the shoulder. And I look at him and I say, yes, how can I help you? And he shows me a badge and he's from Interpol. So I looked at him and I said, well, what have I done? And he looks at me and he says, just call your mother. I'll never forget that as long as I, just call your mother. I mean, Interpol, they sent, you know, they had to track me down selling newspapers on the streets of Paris. You know, and I got really upset. I said, you know, hey, you know, leave me alone. I'm living my life. We got to send the police after me. You know, I mean, I called my mother today, you know, you just laugh. You know, you build a system inside not to allow the nonsense of the world to interfere with the way you live. And you listen to people. That's part of it. You have the strength inside to listen to people, not judge them. And if people are laying trips on you, and, you know, doing all kinds of crazy stuff to you, then you just have the ability to say, no, no. You know, you can't do that to me. And you don't do it in an angry way. You're not upset at them. You just have the ability to create that boundary, that border that doesn't allow people to dump all their crap on you, all their I mean, I have this all the time with people. I can, you know, I must get 25, 30 emails a day, or maybe not a day, but, you know, a week of people with their problems, you know, and I'll answer them. Everybody gets an answer from me when I get emails. But if they consistently do this and don't want to work on, I'll tell them, I'm sorry, I can't be bothered. You know, you got to learn to work on yourself. You have to learn
it's 2 o'clock.
to do the inner work that can transform you. I'm not here as a garbage dump for your problems. And that's not done immediately. It's done, I have a lot of patience with people. That's also an inner strength, to have patience with people, especially family. My God, you got to have a lot of patience with family.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. And, you know, and don't blame it on other people. Just go and say, I got to get strong. I keep telling everyone, I got to get stronger. It's not their fault. They're just reminding me that I need to build an inner, I have to build a strength inside that when people keep coming to me and dumping all their crap on me, I can look at them and say, no, you can't do this to me. I love you. I respect you. You're my family. You're my friends. You're my job. But you cannot keep dumping your crap on me. I'm not the local garbage dump for everybody's tension. And that builds a kind of strength inside that's amazing, because then you can also listen to people. You can listen to people, learn from them, grow because of what they say, not be intimidated by other people's limitations. It's a very good way to live, and it takes deep inner work to build a system that can do that. I mean, I could tell you 50 stories of things that have happened to me in life that forced me to do exactly what I'm talking about. And every one of them helped me to get stronger inside. And every one of them taught me that you can't lecture people. You have to be strong enough to just love them and let them be. Just love them and not be intimidated by the stuff they do. Not to have revenge, to be angry at them, it's like in the Bible, forgive them, they know not what they do. It's one of the greatest things ever written. Christ is on a cross, nailed to a cross, and he tells, forgive them, they know not what they do. I mean, I can't think of anything more extraordinary. They know not what they do. And how many people know what they do? And I'm completely taken with that. And I'm not even a Christian, for God's sake. I don't have really much religion of any sort. But when I read that, I was completely blown away. That was one of the most extraordinary things I ever read. Does anyone else have a question?
I was thrown out for a moment. I have very unstable internet connection at the moment. Just let you know. It's very weird. I don't know what's wrong.
What's wrong about, I don't understand.
Oh, the internet connection was very unstable. So I was out for like 10 minutes.
Okay. That's all right. I understand that. It happens. We're dealing with technology here, and God knows what can take place. It's all right. No problem. I was happy to see you come back. Does anyone else have a question? I hope you understand what I'm talking about, because just simply doing it doesn't, you stop blaming everybody. You stop being angry at people. You just, okay, I can be bigger than this. I can be nobler than this. I can forgive people, because most people don't live terribly conscious lives. And that's what life is here to teach us, how to do this. And the sooner you learn it, the less painful your life is. I'll tell you, you really can let go of anything. Does anyone have a question? Anyone else have a question? And the whole purpose of all this is to get strong enough in oneself so that we can sustain a connection with higher energy in the universe. We don't allow life and all the stupid things that happen in life to drain our energy out of us. We have the inner strength that life goes on and we stay connected with spirit. Because that's the ultimate goal of every human being, is ultimately to attain a state of enlightenment. So by building that inner strength, we don't allow life to suck us dry. When I was younger, life used to suck me dry. I would get angry about everything: politics, money, economics, family. Everything made me angry. Till one day I realized, Stuart, all you're doing is destroying yourself. Get strong enough in yourself to be able to deal with all this nonsense that goes on in the world. because your main purpose is to be connected with spirit. Your main purpose is to activate Kundalini so that you can attain a state of enlightenment, you know, and you have to be strong enough inside to be able to work out your karma without your karma, you know, working you out, you know, by living in the world and being free of the world at the same time. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? You know, it's a blessing to have you all in my life. I'm very grateful for it. And each and every one of you brings your stuff. But it doesn't matter to me because we're here to work on ourselves. We're not here to dump our stuff on each other. We're here to work it out inside and to build a system inside that is strong enough to do what I'm talking about. That's why we have these classes. When I need these classes still. I needed them years ago. When I was much younger, I needed this. And I still need it today because it really helps me to work out anything that is interfering. I wouldn't be on the earth if I didn't have stuff interfering with that process. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, there'll be a class on Tuesday. I hope to see you all there. And if you know people that want to attend, you know, they're welcome. You know, there's one thing I can tell you that is really important about this meditation, just to finish up. It's to sustain it. You know, all I ask for is maybe 3 hours a week from all of you. That's it. And there's 165 hours in a week. And making the commitment to come and do it and be there, it really is important. And sometimes when people leave, I don't see them for weeks and months, you know, I just take their name off the list because they're not a student. You understand? I can't do anything to really help them. If they come once a month, once a year, once every 3 months, it doesn't work. What works is a commitment to do it. And I don't ask for a lot. It's 3 hours a week, basically. That's what I ask from people here. And it's not an awful lot. And try to make a commitment to do that. I mean, if things come up, you know, that you can't do it, you know, just send me an email. Stuff happened, I can't come. That's all right. You know, things happen, life happens. But try to make a commitment to do this. And I'm telling you, it's kind of like the Red Sea parts. When you make that kind of commitment, I mean, when I was younger, I used to work in restaurants all the time. You know, I was a bartender, I was a waiter. That's how I earned a living. It was always easy to get a job, and I was never terribly interested in money when I was younger. And I'll never forget, you go to work and they would tell you when you wanted to work. When I met Rudy and I started studying in these classes, they became so important for my life. I remember walking into a restaurant, you know, and I needed a job. I needed to make some money. And the guy said, well, what hours in the week do you want to work? I couldn't believe my ears. I never heard that before. So I told him all the hours, but the hours where I could come to Rudy's classes. And he said, okay, we'll put you in the schedule. And it was like God hearing me. The need to be in the class was so strong that the universe just heard it and said, okay, we will do this. You know, we will open up. It was like the Red Sea parting. And I said, my God, this is unbelievable. So I used to work just the hours that enabled me to come to Rudy's meditation classes. But that came from need. It sounds like, you know, some accident. It wasn't. It was really a need to grow and a need to do what was helping me to grow. And that need is so deep, it often determines a lot of things that happen in your life. You know? So, you know, It's 3 hours a week. If you can't make some of those hours like you, Street, you know, don't worry about it. It all changes. It always changes. But keep the need inside to do the meditation, to do your inner work. And it determines a lot of stuff that happens in your life. You know, it builds a system for you to take care of so many areas of your life that you're not capable of taking care of at the moment. It really does. And have patience, because you know, things change. They're constantly in flux and change. Okay, if there are no more questions, then we'll have class Tuesday. God bless you all. Thank you. And in all humility, I am very grateful to sit here and do this with all of you. And I will see you all on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you
so much. Thank you.
Wow.